Boeing just shocked the entire aviation world with a move almost nobody saw coming. A project many assumed was long dead has suddenly been pulled back into the spotlight. And thanks to Emirates, it's now closer to becoming reality than ever before. Because behind the scenes, Boeing is quietly evaluating a brand new giant, the Boeing 710, a stretched, ultra-long twin-engine aircraft that would become the largest twin-engine passenger jet ever created. And the moment Emirates unveiled their newest 777X mega order at the Dubai Air Show, the real surprise dropped. Boeing finally has the backing needed to push this aircraft toward an actual launch. But what exactly is the 710, and why is it such a big deal? Take the already enormous 777-9, the biggest member of Boeing's next-generation 777X series, and extend it by around 16 feet. That stretch would bring the total length to roughly 268 feet, longer than an entire football field. This would create a twin-engine giant able to carry about 470 passengers, possibly more depending on the cabin layout. In other words, it becomes the closest modern equivalent to a super jumbo, approaching the capacity of the Airbus A380, but using only 2 engines instead of 4. The most fascinating part is that the 710 isn't some brand new idea Boeing cooked up recently. The concept has been around since the 2010s, when Boeing first explored stretching the 777X family. At that time, engineers confirmed it was technically feasible. The aircraft could be built, but the project went quiet. Boeing shifted all focus to getting the 777-9, the 777-8, and the freighter version certified, all of which remain heavily delayed and roughly 6 years behind schedule. So why bring this stretch back now? Well, one reason is Emirates. The Dubai-based carrier just placed a massive order for 65 more 777-9s at the Dubai Air Show, a deal worth around $38 billion. But kind of hidden within that announcement was the real bombshell. Emirates has formally agreed to support Boeing's feasibility study for the 710, and they've already secured options that could later convert to the stretched version. Emirates chairman Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum made their position unmistakably clear, saying the airline fully backs the study and is very eager to purchase the aircraft if Boeing proceeds. This isn't casual interest. This is Emirates putting heavyweight pressure behind the program. But Boeing now faces the hard part, making such a massive aircraft actually perform. According to Justin Hale, Boeing's customer leader for the 777X, the biggest technical obstacle isn't the stretch itself or tail strike protection. Boeing already has electronic tail skid systems that solve that. The real challenge is takeoff performance. For a twin-engine jet of this size, certification rules require incredibly strict testing of engine-out scenarios. What happens if an engine fails at the worst possible moment during takeoff? Can the aircraft stay under control? Can it meet climb rate requirements on a single engine? Can it take off within certified runway distances? These aren't theoretical questions. Regulators will demand concrete proof before they sign off on something this large. Beyond engine-out scenarios, Boeing's study must examine the structural weight increases from the stretch, how payload and range would be affected, and whether the overall market is big enough to justify the risk. Darren Holst, Boeing's VP of Commercial Marketing, described it as a delicate balance between flexibility and financial exposure. The replacement market for jets seating 350-plus passengers, including aging A380s and 777-300ERs, is just over 1,000 aircraft. That's not enormous, which explains Boeing's cautious approach. For Emirates, however, the 710 could be a lifeline. As the world's largest A380 operator, the airline is staring at a serious problem. Their super jumbo fleet will be retired by around 2041, and nothing on the market replaces it. The A380 allowed Emirates to pour huge capacity into congested airports and route traffic through Dubai as a global hub. Without a comparable aircraft, their entire long-term strategy is at risk. They've asked Airbus for an A380neo. Airbus refused. They've encouraged Airbus to stretch the A350. No progress. And now, finally, the 710 feasibility study has genuine momentum. The real question isn't whether Boeing can design the aircraft, it's whether Boeing is willing to commit to building it. Airbus walked away with orders that shook the entire aviation industry at the Dubai Air Show. Two Gulf carriers handed the European manufacturer deals worth billions of dollars, and one of them ended a decade-long loyalty to Boeing. The numbers are enormous, and the implications are even bigger. Airbus secured major victories at the Dubai Air Show 2025, winning huge contracts from Etihad Airways, Air Europa, and Fly Dubai, deals that directly challenge Boeing's presence in the Middle East. Etihad ordered 16 Airbus widebodies, including 6 A330-900 NEOs, 7 additional A350-1000s, and 3 A350 freighters. This raises Etihad's total A350-1000 commitment to 27 aircraft. The Fly Dubai agreement carried even more strategic importance. The airline signed a memorandum of understanding for 150 A321neo aircraft, marking the first time Fly Dubai has ever ordered Airbus narrowbodies. Since its founding in 2009, the airline has operated an all-Boeing fleet. The A321neo deal represents a major shift in Fly Dubai's long-standing procurement strategy. Air Europa surprised the industry with a major announcement of its own, signing a memorandum of understanding for up to 40 A350-900s, one of the largest long-haul fleet renewal plans at the show. The A350-900 will become the backbone of Air Europa's intercontinental operations, replacing older wide-bodies and supporting the airline's expanding presence in Latin America. Boeing did secure orders as well. Emirates committed to 65 777-9 aircraft, though the program continues to face delays. The aircraft still lacks FAA certification. Boeing originally planned to deliver the 777-9 in 2020, but the timeline has slipped by more than 5 years. The Airbus-Boeing rivalry dates back to 1970, when Airbus was formed as a European consortium. Boeing dominated the market from the 1950s onward with aircraft like the 707 and 747. Airbus entered with the A300, the first twin-engine widebody. Early sales were slow until 1978, when Eastern Airlines ordered 23 A300s. Throughout the 1980s and 90s, Airbus steadily gained traction. In 1988, the A320 family debuted, directly competing with the 737 and introducing fly-by-wire technology to commercial aviation. Airbus delivered more aircraft than Boeing for the first time in 2003, marking a turning point. Boeing held a strong lead in wide-bodies during the 1990s and early 2000s. The 777 program, launched in 1995, became a major success. The 747 remained the world's largest passenger aircraft until Airbus introduced the A380 in 2007, capable of carrying 555 passengers in standard layout. Production of the A380 ended in 2021 after 251 aircraft were built. Market dynamics shifted again in the 2010s. Airbus launched the A350 XWB to challenge Boeing's 787 Dreamliner and 777. The A350 entered service in 2015, earning praise for fuel efficiency and long-range capability. The A350-1000 can fly about 8,700 nautical miles at full load. Boeing faced major setbacks starting in 2018. Two 737 MAX aircraft crashed within 5 months: Lion Air Flight 610 and Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, killing 346 people. Investigators identified problems with the MCAS system, leading the FAA to ground the entire 737 MAX fleet in March 2019. The grounding lasted 20 months and cost Boeing more than $20 billion, with airlines canceling and deferring orders. Airbus capitalized, increasing A320neo production. By 2021, Airbus controlled roughly 60% of the narrow-body market. Production quality issues added to Boeing's challenges. In January 2024, a door plug blew out on an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 in flight, prompting an FAA grounding of 171 aircraft. Investigators uncovered manufacturing defects and quality control lapses, further damaging Boeing's engineering reputation. Today, Airbus holds a backlog of about 8,800 aircraft across all models. Boeing's backlog stands at roughly 5,600. The A320neo family accounts for more than 7,000 of Airbus's outstanding orders.